That night I was babysitting. My parents had went to my grandma's to visit her for a while. And it was me, my little brother named William, and my older brother, Jonathan.
Jonathan was born with a very severe heart defect. He's mentally handicapped and he needs care.
My little brother said he smelled smoke. We were downstairs, and as I'm going up, I kind of see smoke kind of near the stairs, so I kind of rush up. And the first thing I see to my left is the fire. After that, I quickly run back down and go and get him out. And then immediately dial 911.
Tones went off for a residential fire out on Slaptail Trail. But it was me and Lieutenant Zlondek at the fire station. We were on the same truck.
I got a call on my cell phone, and they said, "Is this Mr. Lockard?" I said, "Yes." And they said, "Your house is on fire." They said, "Is anyone at home?" And I said, "Yes, we have a 10-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a handicapped 30-year-old. They said, "Well, where are they?" I said, "I have no idea." I said, "Are you on site?" They said, "No, we're en route." I grab Amy, my wife, and we go running out the door, and my foot never left the floor of my truck. I thought I was going to have to be the first one there and go running in and pull the boys up.
Over the phone, I told them that I had my brother that I was not able to get to. I tried to go in twice. The first time, I probably got about halfway up the stairs, and then I had to retreat back outside. And then the second time, I could barely make it to the stairs just because how intense it got.
When we arrived on scene, obviously your eyes are about as big as they can be. You see a ginormous house and ginormous flames shooting out of it, and our next step is getting inside and figuring out where we need to go.
My neighbors came over, and I had my little brother go over there to their house.
When I talked to Michael in the front yard, his face was covered in soot. He was completely covered in soot, and he looked like he'd been beaten up a little bit from a fire.
Lieutenant Zlondek initially tried to go in through the front door and up some stairs.
When he went in there, the smoke and the heat were very intense and he couldn't get in.
He backed back out. At that time I was waiting at the front door and determined that he was going to have to go up onto the roof of the garage to get into a bedroom window.
John went through the window. When he got inside, he found the young man inside there on the floor.
Jonathan, he was laying down next to his bed, I believe with a blanket over him.
Quickly got him out the window and onto the roof and brought him down, got him loaded up into the ambulance, and I believe that was pretty close to the time that Amy and Ken showed up.
When we arrived on scene, it was like out of a horror film. Flames shooting up 40 foot in the air, red and blue lights. I mean, going everywhere.
I ran up to John. I didn't know who he was then, John Botswick, and said, "Did they get, where are my kids?"
Found out right away that Michael and Jonathan were already in the ambulance.
I got in the ambulance with the two boys and left.
And then I was just affirming that William, who's age 10, was out of the house, and found out he was at the neighbor's house. Once we knew the kids were safe, nothing else really mattered.
The magnitude of this fire, the things that the firefighters did, and how everyone cooperated, including all of our neighbors and all of the many, many, many people who came. I cannot say enough about how remarkable it is that it turned out as well as it did.
We definitely couldn't have done this without him. We're not the heroes here. He is, definitely, for sure. Being able to stay calm in that situation and provide good details and be part of our team in that aspect was huge.
Michael sure deserves some kudos because he did a great job, and in this case, here's a guy that saved his brother's life, and I think that's a heroic thing that he did.
One of our neighbors, he said, "Ken," he said, "if you would have seen Michael," he said, "they're holding him back, from trying to get back into the house and go after Jonathan." And he said when they got Jonathan down, he said it was like a Marine soldier. He said he's just covered in his black, and he walks him down to the ambulance and makes sure that everything's okay with Johnny, and they get him in the ambulance, and then Michael goes in after him. I learned a lot about him that day.